It's usually something, or it's family, or it's love, it's things that are good that we desire primarily God. There's something right? Really for desire. Right? God, thank you. Thank you that you are good. You fill us. If you like some before you leave, here on live.
So much similar.
Press the orange button. Thank you. Okay, so there I am. Oh my goodness, it's time. All right, you can probably hear me right now and not see me. Oh, there you go. Now you can probably see me. If you're with us online, YouTube, please let us know. We would love to say hello to you and to welcome you. I have with me today the inimitable Angela Martin. I've been waiting all week to use the word inimitable in a sentence. I don't even know what it means, but it just sounded right. So, Angela, say hello.
Hello, good morning.
All right. So, the whole point of this is to ask people to kind of share how they have encountered God. And so we want to ask you, just take a minute and maybe share how you've encountered God in your life.
Okay, so I'm going to be one of those weird ones that maybe you don't hear very often.
We love the weird ones.
Perfect, I'm your girl. So actually this past week I encountered God through an email in a way that I wasn't expecting. You know, you get those forwarded emails and you're like, yeah. And you might try to skim or read them real quick. Well, I got an email. I don't know if you're somebody who ever struggles with or prayed for something for 30 years or 20 years or however long it is, and it just feels like it's just hitting the ceiling, it's not going anywhere. And sometimes I have a lot of faith when I'm praying for this particular thing, and sometimes I just don't. And I think I was in one of those lulls where I was just praying because I felt like the right thing to do. I really want this thing to come to fruition. It's God's will. I believe it is, this particular thing. But was kind of giving up hope. And then I received one of those forwarded emails. And the title of the email was, "Ask God for what you need, He might say yes." So it caught my attention. And by the end of the email, I was sobbing. God had my heart, saying, "Don't give up. I do say yes. Sometimes I'm saying wait. But trust me if it's no too, but don't give up. And it just restored my faith in something that I needed just a little extra boost. I felt like God spoke to me directly.
Well, that's wonderful. So I want to say hello to Hummer Woman, Erica McGolan, and Teresa Teromina. Teresa, I apologize for mispronouncing your name, as sure I am. And I'm also going to thank you, Angela, for sharing what you shared. And I'm going to kind of recap a little up to kind of the last part. If I understand, it was through an email that God encountered you, and that there was an answer to prayer through that email. And the reason that I'm saying this is because how this works is I'm on stage, and then I go and I talk to the online campus, and then there's a 90-second delay. I don't know if you onliners know that, but you're 90 seconds behind the room. And I rush and offend large quantities of people as I'm running to this room to interview you. That's why it seems like I magically appear here. But I think what I did is when I turned away from preaching to do the online thing, I thought that we were supposed to start. And so I started a little early so people missed the first half of your story. So let me just say hello to some Pastor Delbert, to Catherine and Mike. Hello to Catherine and Mike. Oh, there we go. All right. Hummer Woman was having a hard time hearing. Can you hear her now? Let's see. I think you said with music, so hopefully that is out of the feed. All right. I don't know. Maybe there might be a tiny delay here with here too. So let me just say, for those of you who are on with us live, if you have a question for Angela, we would love for you to ask it, and she will be happy to answer it, unless she doesn't want to, and then she won't. Also, you can do a comment in the comments. If we can't get to all of our questions, put them in the comments, and we'll get to them in the next day or two. Because this very room, some of you aren't aware of this, but in this room, in the next service, every service at 10:45, a guy named Ramon, who's one of our pastors, actually simultaneously translates the message into Spanish. So people out in the audience that don't speak English, they get a little translator, and he live translates the entire service. So be sure and tell your friends about that. Actually, we're about to release an invite video, about 40 seconds, that's in Spanish. All right. So, all right. Delbert just said, let her talk. So, I get that a lot. So I was actually killing time, Pastor Delbert, to make sure that our everything caught up. Any other questions that you might have oh, yeah, he does say it's your audio. So why don't you pull the microphone in and, all right, hopefully that'll be a little bit better. All right. Were you able to sit through the first message?
Yes.
All right. So one question I always ask, and I forgot to warn you of this, is there anything, because we often encounter God through his word, through obedience. Was there anything in particular in the message that stood out to you? You feel like this is something maybe God wants me to obey? You can say not yet. Maybe you're go home and meditate on it. All right. Well, there we go. All right. So Melissa says, Angela, that you are the sweetest. Oh, Hummer Woman says that we're both sweet. That's very nice. All right. So listen, if you have any other questions, put them in the comments. I do apologize for you missing probably the first part of Angela's testimony of encountering God. And we're just kind of learning this as we go along. Thanks for joining us. And we'll see you again next month when we hear another Encountering God story on the second Sunday of the month. All right.
Did they hear any of it?
Yes. So they just said that you're.
Audio as well.
Yeah. So.
Is it because you are louder?